All right, so are you ready to dive into something really unique today?
I am definitely ready.
Okay, awesome. So we're cracking open this really interesting vintage book, the Usborne Book of the Future from 1979.
It's quite a time capsule.
Oh, it really is.
Looking back on these predictions gives us this I don't know, like this glimpse into how people were thinking back then about the future,
Oh, yeah,
especially during a time like the 1970s with the oil crisis and all the technological advancements that were happening.
exactly. And it's not just some, boring academic look back.
No.
This book is like, it's vibrant, like
Yeah.
it has all this retro futuristic artwork, robots, spaceships, cities that look like something straight out of a movie. It's like it's really like stepping into a time machine when you open this book.
Yeah, and for a book published in 1979, some of the predictions are really spot on.
Yeah,
But it's also interesting to see where they kind of veered off course
yeah,
and what that tells us about how technology and society have actually evolved.
absolutely. Let's start with one of the things that I think a lot of people associate with the future, robots.
Yeah.
Um, the book has all these scenarios where robots are doing all sorts of jobs,
Right.
from housework to teaching. They even have robot explorers, like paving the way for humans on other planets.
It's so interesting how the book actually traces the word robot back to the Czech word for labor.
Oh, wow.
It kind of shows this long-standing desire that humans have had to
Mhm.
automate tasks and free themselves from drudgery, you
Yeah.
know? But it also raises questions
Oh, for sure.
about the nature of work and the role of humans in a future with all this automation.
Well, considering how much we rely on AI and automation today, those questions are more relevant than ever.
Right.
But back in 1979, I mean, these robots exploring alien planets probably seem like
Yeah.
pure science fiction.
Oh, yeah.
It makes you wonder what the authors would think if they saw like the Mars rovers we have today.
I think they'd be amazed by how far we've come in robotics and space exploration.
Yeah.
We haven't quite gotten to the point where robots are actually like preparing planets for us,
Right.
but those early visions definitely laid some of the groundwork for the technology we have today.
I think so, yeah. Okay, let's move on to another big theme in the book.
Okay.
The search for new energy sources.
Yeah.
Remember, this was written during the oil crisis.
Right. Yeah.
So there was a lot of anxiety about energy security
Mm-hmm.
and finding alternatives to fossil fuels.
Absolutely. And that sense of urgency really comes through
Yeah.
in all the different solutions they explore in the book. Some
Mhm.
of them like harnessing the power of waves
Yeah.
using giant salter ducks.
These things are amazing.
I know, they're these massive structures that just bob on the ocean,
Yeah.
converting wave motion into energy.
So cool.
They sound pretty futuristic even today.
They do. And then there's this ocean thermal energy conversion,
Yeah.
which uses the temperature difference between the warm surface water and the cold deep water
Mhm.
to generate power.
Yeah, it's like using the ocean as a giant heat engine.
Right. It's pretty ingenious.
It is, but as with many innovative ideas, I think the challenge is scaling these technologies up to
Yeah.
meet, global energy demands.
Sure.
And while these concepts haven't really taken off in the way that the book predicted,
Yeah.
I think they demonstrate the creativity and the forward thinking
Yeah.
that went into addressing these energy challenges at the time.
Absolutely. And it's interesting how some of the other ideas that they had, like solar power,
Right.
have actually become, pretty mainstream.
Yeah.
The book has this really charming illustration
Oh, yeah.
of a solar-powered tricycle.
A solar mobile.
Yes, a solar mobile. It might seem a bit quaint now, but
Mm-hmm.
but it shows how people were already starting to envision like personal applications
Yeah.
for solar energy.
Yeah. It highlights how these seemingly futuristic ideas can just become part of our everyday lives, And
Yeah.
it's a good reminder that solutions can come from the most unexpected places.
Absolutely. Okay, get ready because we're about to blast off into the world of space exploration
Okay.
and manufacturing.
Mm-hmm.
Get this.
Yeah.
They suggest building factories in orbit.
Wow.
They actually argue that weightlessness would be ideal for making things like,
Yeah.
perfectly round ball bearings or incredibly strong space-made fan blades.
It's a concept that has been explored,
Right.
by scientists and engineers.
I know.
Has some real merit
Interesting.
because microgravity environments offer
Yeah.
these unique possibilities for manufacturing that we can't replicate here. Like,
Hmm.
for example, without gravity, you can grow these larger and more perfect crystals,
Oh, wow.
which are essential for so many technologies,
And I thought about that.
from electronics to pharmaceuticals, you know?
But why go through all the trouble of building these massive factories in space? I mean,
Yeah.
wouldn't it be incredibly expensive,
It would be a significant undertaking.
right?
But the book argues that the potential benefits, they outweigh the challenges.
Interesting.
They actually have this whole plan for a modular space factory
Oh, wow.
called Vulcan 1,
Vulcan 1, okay.
powered by the sun and designed for a variety of manufacturing processes.
It's like something out of a sci-fi movie,
Right.
but with like surprisingly detailed technical, basis behind it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fascinating. So from space factories, we move on to another mind-blowing concept: mining asteroids.
What?
I know it might sound like something out of a video game,
Yeah.
but the book dives deep into this idea
Really?
of extracting valuable materials from asteroids,
Okay.
the moon, and even Jupiter.
Wow.
They even describe using a giant electromagnetic catapult
Really?
to launch these materials back to Earth.
I mean, the scale of these ideas is just staggering.
I know, they weren't afraid to think big.
No, they weren't.
It's like they were looking at this vastness of space and seeing a solution to Earth's limitations,
Yeah, yeah.
What I find really intriguing is the book's focus on using space technology not just to escape our planet,
Right.
but to benefit life on Earth. Like
Right.
they weren't just trying to get away from our problems.
Right.
They were looking to space to solve them.
Yeah, you're right.
That brings us to another fascinating prediction: satellites as guardians of Earth.
Interesting.
They talk about using satellites not just for communication,
Yeah.
but for monitoring the planet's health.
Okay.
We talk about detecting forest fires, predicting locust plagues,
Wow.
and even using satellites to predict earthquakes.
It's amazing how accurately they predicted the role that satellites would play
Right.
in Earth observation.
We rely on them for so much today,
Mm.
like weather forecasting, climate monitoring, disaster response,
It's like having eyes in the sky, constantly watching over us.
And the book takes it a step further,
Yeah.
right? They suggest that satellites could be used for things like illuminating the ground at night using giant mirrors.
Giant space spotlight.
I know. While that particular idea hasn't become a reality,
Yeah.
it reflects this desire to use space technology for good.
Yeah, for the betterment of humankind.
It's like they saw space as this untapped resource,
Mm.
not just for exploration, but for solving some of Earth's most pressing problems.
Right.
Okay, get ready for a shift in gears.
Okay.
Because now we're going to dive into a world of architectural marvels
Right.
and futuristic city designs.
This is where the book's imagination really takes off.
I know. We're talking domed cities,
Yeah.
underwater cities.
Wow.
They even have a Sea City 2000 shaped like a giant pyramid, like rising out of the ocean.
That's incredible.
It's like flipping through a retro-futuristic architecture magazine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I especially love this arcology concept.
The arcology.
Yeah.
What is that?
So arcologies are self-sufficient cities that blend architecture and ecology.
Oh, interesting.
They envision vertical farms, integrated recycling systems, and,
Oh.
minimal environmental impact.
It's a concept that's still so relevant today.
Oh, yeah.
As we think about things like urbanization and sustainability, climate change,
Yeah, absolutely.
the book's vision of the arcology really highlights this need to rethink our relationship with the environment and design cities that are both functional and ecologically responsible.
And, of course, no book about the future would be complete without skyscrapers.
Right.
And the Usborne Book of the Future features what they call the tallest skyscraper ever, a space elevator stretching all the way into orbit.
A space elevator.
I know.
That's one prediction that still seems very much in the realm of science fiction.
I think so, yeah.
Although, the idea of a space elevator continues to captivate people,
Yeah,
engineers and dreamers.
it really does.
The scale of it is just mind-boggling.
It really is.
Yeah.
Okay, let's step into the digital age, but with a 1979 twist.
Okay.
The book describes wrist radios.
Wrist radios.
Yes, these kind of bulky devices that combine telephones, radios, and computers, all powered by satellites.
So they kind of predicted the smartwatch.
They did, in a way. It's fascinating how they foresaw this convergence of communication, computing, and mobile technology.
Yeah.
The book even suggests using these wrist radios for instant voting.
Wow.
Like, it shows how they anticipated our desire for constant connectivity
Yeah.
and instant access to information.
It's incredible how they tapped into these fundamental human desires for communication, for convenience, even with a very limited understanding of the technology.
Right. They couldn't have known how it would actually manifest.
Right.
Speaking of communication and technology, they also had some interesting ideas about personal transport.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Okay, picture this. A one-man helicopter, a rocket built, a car with inflatable wheels.
It sounds like they were pulling ideas straight from a comic book or something.
I know. While those particular concepts might seem a bit out there now, it's interesting to see how they were trying to solve the challenges of personal mobility and imagining solutions that break free from traditional forms of transportation.
Yeah, I mean, their vision of flying cars hasn't quite become a reality yet.
Not yet, but you know, maybe someday. Maybe someday. But now let's turn our attention to a topic that has always captivated the human imagination: space travel.
Okay.
And the Usborne Book of the Future does not disappoint.
I bet.
Get ready for a cosmic adventure.
All right.
Because they cover everything from the space shuttle.
Which was still in development at the time.
Right. It was to far more ambitious concepts like solar-powered airships, laser-propelled spacecraft, and a colossal star probe designed to reach nearby stars.
It's a really cool mix of the familiar and the fantastical.
And they don't just, skim the surface. They actually provide a detailed breakdown of a journey into space.
Okay.
Describing the launch sequence and tasks of the space shuttle.
Wow.
It's fascinating to see how they envisioned the nitty-gritty details of space travel.
Yeah.
Even as they dreamt of these bolder ventures, beyond our solar system.
It's like they were trying to bridge the gap between the reality of space exploration at the time and the aspirations they had for humanity's future among the stars.
Yeah, it's a really cool balance of pragmatism and dreaming big.
Yeah, absolutely. It's remarkable, how they captured both like the scientific details and that sense of awe and wonder that just kind of surrounds space exploration. And speaking of pushing boundaries, the book doesn't shy away from some pretty ambitious concepts like terraforming, transforming entire planets to make them habitable for humans.
They suggest some pretty radical ideas for terraforming Venus.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Well, they talk about triggering like massive rainfall to cool the planet down. They even propose using giant mirrors in space to reflect sunlight and melt the ice caps of Mars.
To what, warm it up?
Yeah, to release trapped gases and thicken the atmosphere.
And you talk about ambitious.
Right. It almost sounds like science fiction.
Yeah.
But it's rooted in real scientific principles.
Exactly. Terraforming it's still a topic that sparks a lot of debate.
Oh, for sure.
Among scientists and futurists today.
Yeah.
While the technological hurdles are immense, it speaks to this human desire to shape other worlds.
It's like playing Cosmic Gardener.
It is.
It's like they were looking at the vast canvas of space and just seeing unlimited potential for human ingenuity and expansion.
Yeah, and speaking of expansion, they also dive into colonizing the asteroid belt.
Oh, yeah, this is a good one.
Envisioning cities built inside hollowed-out asteroids.
With artificial gravity and ecosystems and everything.
It's like something straight out of a classic sci-fi novel.
It really is.
They imagine these asteroid cities as these bustling centers of industry and commerce.
Right.
Mining resources, manufacturing goods.
Yeah.
In this unique environment of microgravity.
What's wild.
They even talk about using Jupiter as a source of helium-3 to power future fusion reactors.
That's amazing. It's clear they saw the resources of space as key to humanity's future. Expansion and technological advancement.
Yeah.
And what's really striking is that they weren't just focused on escaping Earth's problems.
Right.
They were actually looking to space for solutions.
Absolutely.
They saw the potential for space technology to address challenges back here on Earth, like energy production, resource management, environmental monitoring.
It's a really holistic view.
It is, and they didn't shy away from the big questions about our place in the cosmos.
Like what?
Well, they even have a whole section on the possibility of encountering extraterrestrial life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they talk about...
It's a big one.
They talk about the potential forms that alien life might take. The challenges of communication.
Right.
And the implications of of such a discovery.
It's hard to even imagine
I know.
what that would be like.
Yeah, for humanity's understanding of its place in the universe.
It would change everything.
Yeah, it really would.
It's like they were trying to anticipate every possible scenario,
Mm-hmm.
no matter how far-fetched it seemed.
Right. No idea was off limits.
And that's what I think makes this book so engaging, you know? It's this blend of scientific speculation, technological optimism,
right,
and philosophical pondering.
It really makes you think.
It does. It's a reminder that the future isn't, you know, preordained.
Yeah.
It's like a canvas where we can paint our hopes and dreams and aspirations.
So, looking back at these predictions from our, current perspective.
Yeah.
What stands out to you as the most, I don't know, accurate or insightful?
I think they were remarkably prescient in their understanding of how technology would shape our lives. The convergence of communication and computing and mobile devices,
right,
the rise of automation, the use of satellites for Earth observation. These are all trends that they really anticipated.
It did.
Even if the specific details didn't always match up.
Right, like they nailed the concept of the smartphone.
Yeah.
Even if their wrist radios look a little bit clunky now.
A little bit, yeah.
But, it's not just about the technological predictions.
Yeah.
I think what's truly remarkable is their optimism, their belief that humanity would use its ingenuity to overcome challenges and create a better future.
I agree. Despite, all the anxieties of the time, the book has this real sense of hope and possibility.
It's inspiring.
It's a reminder that even in the face of uncertainty, we have the power to shape our own destiny.
It's like they were saying, yes, there are challenges ahead, but we have the tools, we have the imagination to build a future worth striving for.
Absolutely.
Okay, so for this final part of our deep dive into the Usborne Book of the Future, we're going to explore their vision of humanity's ultimate frontier, space colonization and the search for life beyond our solar system.
All right, let's do it.
Get ready for a cosmic adventure, because they don't hold back.
I bet.
They cover everything from terraforming planets to building cities inside asteroids.
Oh.
Designing starships capable of interstellar travel.
It's a lot to cover.
I know, to speculating about the nature of alien civilizations.
It's amazing how they pack it all in.
They do. It's like they took all of humanity's dreams and aspirations about space and packed them into these final chapters. It's a thrilling, thought-provoking, and sometimes even humorous glimpse into a future that continues to inspire us.
It does.
To reach for the stars.
It really is. It's a testament to how boundless human imagination can be.
Yeah, and they jump right into it with Venus, colonizing Venus, but not the Venus we know today.
Right, the hot, toxic wasteland.
Exactly. They envision transforming it.
Wow.
Through massive climate engineering projects.
So how do they propose doing that?
Well, they talk about triggering massive rainfall to cool the planet down and create a more Earth-like environment.
Wow.
And they even imagine using giant mirrors in space to reflect sunlight and melt the ice caps of Mars.
Oh, to release trapped gases?
Yeah, to thicken the atmosphere, the whole thing.
That's incredible. Talk about ambitious.
Right. It might seem like science fiction, but it's grounded in real scientific principles.
Exactly, and terraforming it's still a topic that people talk about today. Scientists and futurists.
Yeah.
It raises these really fascinating questions, though.
All kinds of questions.
Well, like, if we have the power to transform planets, should we?
That's a big one.
Yeah, and what would that mean for humanity, and for the universe as a whole?
It's a huge responsibility.
It is.
But they don't just stop there, right? They go on to explore colonizing the asteroid belt.
The asteroid belt.
Yeah, they envision cities.
Wow.
Built inside hollowed-out asteroids.
Like actual cities.
Yeah, with artificial gravity, ecosystems.
It sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie.
It really does.
So what would these cities be like?
Well, they imagine them as these bustling centers of industry and commerce. They talk about mining resources, manufacturing goods.
Yeah.
All in this unique environment of microgravity.
So they'd be like these giant space factories.
Kind of, yeah. And get this, they even propose using Jupiter as a source of helium-3.
Helium-3, what's that?
It's a potential fuel for future fusion reactors.
Oh, wow. So they were really thinking long term.
They were. And it's clear that they saw the resources of space as essential for humanity's future, for expansion, for technological advancements.
It's interesting, though, because they weren't just focused on escaping Earth.
Right.
They were looking to space for solutions, too.
Exactly. Like, they saw the potential for space technology to help us here on Earth.
Yeah, like how?
Well, they talk about things like, energy production, resource management, environmental monitoring, all kinds of things.
That's pretty forward thinking.
It is, and they didn't shy away from those really big questions about our place in the universe.
No, they even dedicated a whole section to the possibility of alien life.
I know, that's one of the most mind-blowing parts of the book.
Yeah, what do they say about it?
Well, they dive into all these different aspects.
Okay.
Like the potential forms that alien life might take.
Yeah.
The challenges of communication.
Right, how would we even talk to them?
Exactly, and what would it mean for humanity if we actually made contact?
It's almost impossible to imagine.
I know, it really makes you think.
It does, and that's what I love about this book. It's this blend of speculation and optimism and philosophical questions.
It's a reminder that the future it's not set in stone.
No, it's full of possibilities.
Yeah, it's like a blank canvas.
It is.
That we get to taint on.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the Usborne Book of the Future, what do you think is the most important takeaway?
I think it's their unwavering belief in human ingenuity.
Yeah.
And the power of imagination. Some of their predictions might seem a little bit,
a little outdated.
Yeah, a little outdated, but they captured this spirit of optimism.
Yeah.
And this willingness to embrace the unknown. That's really inspiring, I think, even today.
It is. It's a reminder that progress is driven by curiosity.
Yeah.
By creativity, by having a bold vision for the future.
Absolutely. And who knows, maybe some of those far out ideas will actually become reality someday.
You never know.
Right. The future has a way of surprising us.
It does.
Well, thanks for joining us on this journey.
Yeah, this was fun.
Through time and imagination.
Absolutely.
Until next time, keep looking up at the stars.
Yeah.
And dreaming big.